Hello to all viewers and friends, Francisco Guedes here in my first build video. Join me as I build a Falkland War warrior. I will super detail it with open engines and panels, weather it, and add it to a diorama at the end to make it pop. First off, what amazing box art. For this build, I went all in with aftermarket by using Black Dog, Aztec model, Alex 3D Productions, Quinta Studios and Eduard masks. The kit itself is very nice. Look how crispy the detail is. The Aztec model seats are amazing, a huge improvement compared to the kit. I first primed them with black primer from Guedes, then I slowly build up the detail by painting individual details. For painting details, I use some nail brush that I ordered on Temu. I like them. They work quite well for the price for small details. The cockpit was painted with Tamiya Grey for the base color and using my trustworthy Adler and Steenbeck CR+. The best way to use these 3D decals is dipping them in water and then using white glue. The Quinta instrument panels also received the same treatment. 3D decals have really added to the hobby over the last 3 years. Deluxe material CA glue is used to put the seats in place. I used my little super good dispensing duck. CA glue is great for adding resin to plastic. My go-to glue is Tamiya Extra Thin Cement for plastic on plastic. I use a fine nail brush to paint the raised details for the panel covers of both cockpits. I decided to do some weathering here by using oils from Tandem and pigments from Tamiya. Cockpit completed. Tamiya Grey was also used here to give a little dip with the help of a pin wash. To use Black Dog detail set, you need to remove some major plastic. I used my trusty Dremel and started drilling several holes in the nose to make the removal easier. I employed many sanding tools to preserve the complex curvature of the delicate parts. 600, 800 and 1000 grits were used. I wet sand to reduce the plastic dust. For painting fine aluminium details, I always use Umbral metal coat enamels. Time to put the cockpit in place and close the fuselage. I use Revel contact glue for the strong bond of joints supplement with Tamiya extra thin cement. Large clamps were essential to ensure a good fit between fuselage halves. All the parts are now in the fuselage. The instrument panel's wood is painted black with ICM acrylics. They have great pigmentation density and work very well with a brush. I didn't want this to be a tail seater, so I added some nose weight. The nose from Black Dog set is being removed from this casting block. I was a bit disappointed in Black Dog's resin quality, but made do with my cutter and sanding file. Time for major surgery underneath the aircraft. Opening panels make the assembly very fragile, so be careful if you try this. This step drill bit is extremely useful. Now we are getting to the engines. I'm going to open them both up. The Black Dog wheels base are an improvement over the kit part. I use a nail art brush to paint the fine details. I'm preparing the engine's cowling from Black Dog. I'm using Guedes black primer for a base of the engine resin parts. I'm drying fitting first, then I glue everything with Revel contact for wing fuselage joint. AK Interactive Extreme Color Aluminum was applied on the black primer. The nose section was detailed with Vallejo paints. The initial plan was to open only one engine since that's what Black Dog provides, but I later purchased a 2-engine set from Alex 3D Productions. Alex set is far superior. I use a razor saw from Asagawa to rescribe the panel lines. lost a flap and an aileron actuator, so I built two from scratch out of the sheet styrene. Losing small parts is the bane of scale modeling, is it not? I try Vallejo's masking paint here. I prefer Tamiya tape by far. Pieces of sponge and blue tack I used to cover the panel openings and the wheelbase. Careful when cutting the large clear parts. For me, the best way is with a fine saw. Mine is from Art Scale. Eduard's kabuki masks are flawless. They are a great addition to the overall build experience. Deluxe Materials Masking Magic is my favorite liquid masking agent for supplementing Eduard masks. I used the clear parts to work as a cover and protection for the cockpit. Once dry, I used the black paint for the Canopy frames. Using my trusty Outer and Steenbeck airbrush, I start the pre-shading. Continuing my pre-shading, I highlight the inside panels with Tamiya white. Now the first color, I choose Sky Duck Egg Green from Guedes, tinned with Guedes Tina. I apply it in freehand while closely checking my reference. After the green is done, I decided to do some post-shading before the other color, using the green color with a little drop of white and using Yeshiva and Rustin stencil. The brown color British and yellow was from AK Interactive. This also was applied freehand. The Pucará first flew in 1969. Pucará means fortress in Quechua. Once the top color were dry, I moved to the underside. I used Real Color Air Superiority Blue. Only slightly over 100 Pucará were built. Uruguay, Sri Lanka and Colombia also flew them in limited numbers. Despite the low production count, there are so many interesting markings options. It's no surprise that this kit turned out to be a great seller for Kinetic. Time for the yellow strip using Tamiya masking tape with millimetric grid. The color used was yellow real color. Check out this abandoned Pucara. This was an inspirational reference photo for weathering. I use Abteilung oils over 10 years old. After dotting all the undersides with several colors, a large brush moistened with white spirit dragged the colors in the direction of the airflow. This will give you a varied blue, not the monochromatic blue. The panel lines. One of the best ways is just a pencil with a 0.2mm lead sharpened diagonally. Time for the clear varnish from AK Interactive. Vertigo Miniatures holder is used to suspend the model for ease of airbrushing. I did the same weathering techniques from the top side as well, but with different oil colors for the green and the brown. Once dry, I seal it all with matte varnish. The resin wheels from CMK are a nice improvement for the model. The CMK propellers are also a huge improvement. I apply a layer of aluminum paint using AK interactive marker. I use a combination of decals from the kit and from Aztec models. The stencils were mostly from the later one. Microset and Microsol was initially used. It turns out I will need something a little stronger. Here is my Khazar Bomba decal softener. Tamiya Mark Fit is much stronger than Microsol and is used when decals don't want to behave. The final application of paint on the propellers and propeller hub. Some more weathering with AK streaking grimes drops, mostly in direction of the airflow. Some pinwatch in black to highlight important details. These little touches add up over time. A final round of decals. Aztec models as the most accurate stencils. Bringing it all together for the propeller. These are the Alex 3D production engines from Argentina fittingly. They are miles ahead of Black Dog. Highly recommended if you want to open engine or two in your Pucara. I painted individual details with AK Interactive and Vallejo acrylics. These are Turbomeca Astazou engines. They came from France. I topped off the engine's weathering by using oils and stains from AK Interactive and a black pin wash. A good layer of Tamiya XF86 matte varnish. For the exhaust pipe, copper pigments were gradually built up to get a warmer look. These exhaust stains were made possible simply by a cotton swab with black MIG pigment. Putting this exhaust pipe in place, this was a very satisfying step. Equally rewarding was mounting the detail engines. Unmasking. Let's hope that everything is perfect. Not bad. I will take it. I drilled a hole in the canopy for a sensor. Painting the mirror and putting the canopy in place. Final step in putting all parts in place using cyanochralatic glue. I really like rigging biplanes in 132 scale, not in 148 scale, but I did manage to get it done. I'm installing a very small photo-etched stacky wicks. I paint them while they were in their fret. Tamiya smoke on the exhaust exits to tone down the black effect. Tamiya clear red on an anti-collision light. An actual photo of my subject. Major Carlos Tomba was shot down on May 21st in 1982 by British Sea Harrier. I wanted to represent this Pucara, an A511, undergoing maintenance just a few days before the Falkland War. I needed a base for the diorama, so I started with the blue foam. I used the clear acrylic to make cement square for the diorama. White diorama textures from AK Interactive are applied in the terrain area. For the cement, black paint on the panel lines, white paint on the center of the panels, and grey to blend things. To give a little more realism, I made cracks on the concrete floor with the Aztec scriber. It has a very fine and strong tip, making it perfect for the job. To give the cracks a little more darkness, a dark grey wash was applied to some, black to others. The grass is from Marvel Scene and is perfect for 148 scale. I use white glue to put the grass into place. Some extra grass types are added from Jovix and Plus model. A mix of dry pigments are rubbed on the surface to give the ground some variety. I then use pigment fixer from MIG to permanently put everything in place. The figures are from Elect 3D Productions and they are of Argentinian pilots. They are outstanding. After black primer, they were painted with Vallejo. The red helmet line was made with the leftover decals. It fit perfectly. I'm very pleased how it turned out. It was certainly a learning experience as it was my first open-up model aircraft as well as my first ever painted figures. Please let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want to see another Kinetic super detailed kit, please check out Tom's Swiss F18 on it.